Kevin Holland taking on Makhmud Muradov. And this is a fun one. I'll go ahead and let you lead the dance on this one. Talk to me, James.
Yeah, a lot of people I was on my chat this morning. A lot of people like Muradov in this fight. I'm the other way. I really like Holland in this fight. I think this guy's got a lot of momentum coming through. You know, we talk about Joaquin Buckley's highlight reel finish. How about Kevin Holland finishing Joaquin Buckley? Right. I think how easy it is to forget. A lot of people give Holland shit for his last fight with the split decision against Darren Stewart, but Darren Stewart's one of those like weird matchups where like sometimes you can just make really good fighters look kind of average, right? And I think that's what happened in the last fight. Let's also not forget this is going to be Holland's fourth fight this year. Sorry, fourth fight this year. I was almost going to say fifth. He had a grappling match earlier this year, but still, that's 3 fights already in the books. A lot of momentum there. Even last year, his loss to Brendan Allen, I was at that fight in Boston. That was a fight where he was winning that first round, and I was like, Brendan's in trouble. And then out of nowhere, he makes a mistake. Brendan capitalizes, gets a submission victory. So I'm a firm believer in Kevin Holland. His only other loss in the octagon is against Thiago Santos, which was just sort of like a death warrant for a debut. I mean, you're fighting a really scary guy. And Thiago Santos, and Holland didn't get destroyed in that fight. I mean, he lost, but it wasn't like he looked terrible in that matchup. So
and he was talking shit the whole time.
Exactly. And I really like Holland here. And with Marty, what kind of concerns me, the layoff, hasn't fought since December. His 2 wins are against guys that aren't even in the UFC anymore. And also Holland's going to have a height and reach advantage in this one. Mm-hmm. I think minus 170. I think there's some good value there on Holland. I really like him here. I would bet that straight or even put it in a parlay, but I think Holland's the real deal. And I think, I know he's taking this on short notice, but this has been his MO all year, is just keep active, keep going. I'll fight anyone, anywhere. It seems to suit him well. So I think Holland's going to go out there and get a pretty impressive decision in this fight.
Okay. I like it, man. So you know what? First off, we broke 400, folks. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us here on a Monday night. We've got a 410 live viewers here on the Die Hard MMA podcast, and I'm going to need you all to do me a favor. Don't go rushing out to bet this right away now that we've talked about it. I don't know if the Die Hard horde is big enough to influence the betting market yet, but I don't want to roll those dice just yet because I completely agree with my guy here, James Lynch. And right now, money is coming in on Makhmud Muradov. Let them keep it coming. We want to drop that line on Kevin Holland so we can hit him around minus 140, minus 150, and we're not laying that kind of chalk on him. I think this is a great spot for Kevin Holland. So first off, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's got the ground advantage here in spades. Now, he prefers to strike. He likes to stay on the feet. He plays with his food. That's the one thing. You can't ever trust Kevin Holland to do what you want him to do because he just goes in there and has fun. But he's fighting Makhmud Muradov, who's a guy that's going to just bring exactly the kind of fight to him that he wants. We saw Kevin Holland struggle with the grappling of a guy like Darren Stewart. We saw him struggle with the grappling of Thiago Santos. If you're big, if you're strong, if you can stay safe on the mat and put him on his back, you can grind this guy out. If you can't do that, he's taking off Joaquin Buckley's head. He's knocking dudes out with his boxing if they can't take him to the ground. Makhmud Muradov is part of the Floyd Mayweather money team. This is a boxer. He's got sharp, fast hands. He does have good footwork. He moves well. He blitzes in and he closes that range really quickly. He throws flying knees when he can, but he's used to having the athletic advantage. He's used to having the height and the reach advantage. Kevin Holland has a phenomenal 6-inch reach advantage here. It's just not fair. This guy's got cheat codes when it comes to the physicality in his fights. It's like John Jones. Your opponents just can't do anything about that 6-inch reach advantage, and he's one of these people who knows how to use it. Kevin Holland scrambles extremely well. I don't know that this fight is going to hit the ground. I think it's going to be a striking match, but he has excellent precision counter striking, and the way Makhmud blitzes in, wildly throwing these big overhand shots with that height and reach advantage, I think Kevin Holland's just going to pick him off. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Holland wins a decision or even clips this guy and knocks him out later in the fight because they have nearly identical striking stats. The only difference is Kevin Holland has those striking stats with over 2.5 significant strikes landed better than his opponents over the course of 7 UFC fights, as opposed to Makhmudov's 2. So I think Kevin Holland is the much more proven prospect here. I think he's deserving of that number. I understand people wanting to look for a live dog, and Makhmud looks enticing, and people betting him around the plus 150 range, stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy. I'm going to sit tight. I'm hoping I can get minus 150 or something like that on Kevin Holland a little bit later in the week, but I don't mind eating the chalk once again and doing minus 160 or minus 170.
There you go. Can't disagree with that.
And I want to look at that KO prop. He's so dang good on the ground. People always want to look for him by submission. And you know what? I always tell people to take Kevin Holland inside the distance because, like I said, you can't trust him. You just never know what he's going to do. If he feels like wrestling, he'll wrestle. If he feels like boxing, he'll box. So you don't know how he's going to get it done. But I kind of envision a finish here, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Holland's sort of due for it. I mean, he had obviously the decision in his last fight, but he did finish Buckley the fight before. I think he wants to go out there and just sort of show, like, he wants to get more respect in this division, right? Like, I don't even think he's not even ranked right now, right? So he's got to make some noise, and I think he has the opportunity to do this on Saturday.
You know what? Kevin Holland might be on my short list for best unranked fighter in his division. You know what I mean? He's just completely underrated, and if I know that would take away from some of what he does, but if he had a coach that could rein him in, if he could get laser focused and put all those tools in the right spot, he would be a monster, in my opinion.